and welcome to this session number 7, I believe, quiz number 7, musical session number 7 with me, Adrian Garratt. Now, for those of you who have joined for the first time, who have hit session number 7 before session number 1, then I will explain briefly what I'm going to do. So, my name's Adrian. I normally play as a resident musician in Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, and also West Middlesex Hospital, in the elderly wards at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. So that may be Lord Wigram, or Rainbow Molam, or Nell Gwyn, or Nightingale. Hello, if you are watching and you are in any of those wards. May your stay be brief. Hello, if you are a staff member in any of those wards. Hello. I look forward to seeing you again soon, I hope. And in West Middlesex Hospital, in the Children's Ward, Starlight, Sunshine, PSSU, various other places which I normally play. But sadly at this time, no. I'm here because the Arts for All programme, provided by the CW Plus charity at the hospital, has gone online. So here we are with virtual connections, the online version of Arts for All. If you've seen previous videos, excuse me delivering this speech at the beginning, just to explain where we are for those of you who are joining for the first time. So I'm going to play some music on this, my violin, here it is, still here, and this, my bow, sometimes a bit of pizzicato, but I don't think there's much this week actually, so I'll do a bit now. That's it. Right, so a bit of music on the violin and also some questions, because this is the sort of musical round of a pub quiz here with me, here in my house, and you possibly in your house, possibly at a hospital, watching on a Hospedia screen. Anyway, so every week there are some questions. Halfway through the session, I give you some answers, and then at the end of the session, I give you some more answers. So now is the time, ladies and gentlemen, to get your drink, get your pens, get your pencils, get your pieces of paper to write down answers on. Or if you are not in a position to write down answers on a piece of paper or a phone or a tablet or whatever, then answer them in your head. Remember them for the answer sections a bit later on. Now, each week or each session, there is a theme. There is a theme, and this week's theme, well, I can't tell you because it's your job to guess the theme or to work out what the theme is. So there will be a theme that links all the pieces of music that I play. And there are also some rollover questions at the end. So last week we had a couple of rollover questions, and they are... I should remind myself of these. So, rollover question number 1 from last week. Last week's there was a theme, and 2 of the pieces in that theme were The Girl from Ipanema and the Scarborough Fair. So, The Girl from Ipanema, I asked a rollover question, which was this. I'm going to look over here to my notes. The Girl from Ipanema was ranked in 2009 by the Brazilian edition of Rolling Stone magazine amongst the 100 greatest Brazilian songs of all time. And my question was, where did it come in that ranking? Was it A, number 1? Was it B, number 11? Or was it C, number 27 on that list of 100 greatest Brazilian songs of all time? I mean, I think it should be very high up because I like it very much. But, you know, it was for the people of Brazil to judge their own song. And the answer was, it was number 27th. I can't find it hard to believe there are 26 songs that are better than that. But, you know, people tend to vote for the ones they know of the time and the contemporary feel of the music. So perhaps it suffered from that vote being taken in 2009 and not 1968. Anyway, so there you go. That's the Girl from Ipanema. And question number 2, rollover question number 2 from last week was about Scarborough Fair. Now, Scarborough Fair was a very famous version done by Simon and Garfunkel in the 60s. And that was after Paul Simon apparently went to London and he learnt that song, or heard about it, or, you know, was introduced to it by a famous English folk artist called Martin Carthy, who apparently taught Paul Simon that song. And my rollover question was this. Martin Carthy has a daughter, and she is also a very fine musician. She plays the violin and she sings at the same time, both very well, which is extremely difficult to do. So well done her. She's been nominated for a Mercury Music Prize. I asked you what her name was. And her name is Eliza. There you go. Eliza Carthy. Carthy, I'm going for Carthy. Eliza Carthy. So she is a great musician. Check her out. If you haven't done so, you don't know about her already. Anyway, cracking on now with the questions and the music for this week. And my first piece this week is this one. Novelty song, which goes like this. There we go. Familiar to many of you, I'm sure, as How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Now, that song was written a long time ago, in 1953. It was a massive hit in the US for which singer? Question number one, which singer? Now, I'm going to give you a clue. Her first name is Patty. And her second name is the question, really. So Patty who? Patty who had a massive hit in 1953 with that song, How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Question number one. Question number two. In the UK, that particular version, the US version, didn't sell very well in the UK for various reasons. So somebody else recorded it in the UK called Lita Rosa. Lita Rosa or Rosa? Lita Rosa? Don't know. Anyway, so she did very well. Got to number one. Very good. So, and it was the first song ever to get to number one in the UK, sung by a female artist. This is 1950, I think 1953. So, first female artist ever to get number one. It was also another first. It was another first, and my question is, it was the first number one to ever feature what in the title of the song? So, it was the first number one in the UK ever to feature what in the title of the song? Not the word what, but what was it? There was something about the title of the song had never featured in a number one song in the UK before. That's question number two. And question number three, how well do you know the words of the song, ladies and gentlemen? The verse, of course, sounds exactly the same as the chorus. So there's just a load of, verses that say the same, like I played to you. In the song, where does the singer have to take a trip to, leaving her sweetheart alone? So where does the singer take a trip to in the song, leaving her sweetheart alone, apart from the dog, which she's thinking about getting? So there you go. That's question number three. And now cracking on with piece number two. What's it going to be? I look over to my notes. I don't know. Who knows what it's going to be? Is it going to be another novelty song from the 50s? No, it's not. It's going to be a bit of folk, a bit of Cornish folk, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Devonshire Cornish folk, by a chap called Seth Lakeman, and it goes about this. Right, so Seth Lakeman's another. I'll tell you now. There we go. This is called Kitty J. There you go, my version of Kitty J by Seth Lakeman. Yeah, as I was saying, he like Eliza Carthy, sings and plays at the same time. Not a skill I possess, I have to confess. If you listen to his version, he'll sing as well. And he does sing and play. I've seen him. He's brilliant. So Kitty J by Seth Lakeman. Now, a couple of questions about Kitty J by Seth Lakeman. So it's a song, he wrote it, he was inspired by a grave in Devon, which is known as Jay's Grave, or Kitty Jay's Grave. So it's a well-known landmark in Devon. Tourists go and look at this grave. It always has flowers on it, apparently. But it dates back, the tales about it date back to Anna Jay in the 18th century. Apparently committed suicide, and her body ended up in this grave. But it's quite sort of in the middle of a road, almost, or a sort of junction, so it's very visible. Which is why I think it's such a thing. Anyway, so he recorded an album. The album's called Kitty J as well, and that's the sort of title track on it. Anyway, he recorded this album at home. I think his brother did all the sort of production on it. He's got a couple of brothers, and apparently the whole album cost £300. So nice one, Seth. Good budget recording. My question is, which room in his house did he record the album in? Was it A, his bedroom, B, the lounge, or C, the kitchen? So which room in his house did Seth Lakeman record the album Kitty J in? Was it A, his bedroom, B, the lounge, or C, the kitchen? It's highbrow stuff, this. All right, so I'm sure you know the answer to that question, but if you don't, then just have a guess. That's question number 4. Question number 5. So this grave, as I said, has inspired quite a few people to do various things, music and literature as well. So following a visit to the area surrounding Kitty J's grave, there's a house nearby, and there's a few other sort of Devonshire features, like there's a tor nearby and stuff. Some famous author was inspired to write a book called The Hound of the Baskervilles. And my question is, what is the name of that author? So what is the name of the author who wrote The Hound of the Baskervilles after visiting Kitty J's grave and the surrounding area? That's question number 5. And question number 6, back to Seth Lakeman. After a phone call from legendary Led Zeppelin lead singer on New Year's Day 2017, Seth Lakeman ended up joining that guy's band, a band called the Sensational Shapeshifters. In 2017-18, he did a tour with them. So my question is, who made that phone call on New Year's Eve 2017 to Seth Lakeman? Who made the phone call? Legendary singer of Led Zeppelin. Who made the phone call to Seth Lakeman in New Year's Eve 2017 and inviting him to be part of his band to go on tour? Lead singer of Led Zeppelin. Right, there we go. And now on to something completely different. We're going to go back in time now. Back in time, not too far. I think probably less than 100 years. To a piece by Prokofiev, which goes a bit like this. You'll probably know this one. There you go. That is the theme to that's Peter's theme. Peter's theme. So all the the story of Peter and the wolf and various characters. By the way, I should say that we are always looking for feedback and for you to say hello to us. So I'm saying hello to you via my phone here, but it's a bit non-interactive in that I am performing to my phone. Hello, phone. I love my phone, as I said last week, but it's it's not the same as performing to people. And I know you're out there somewhere watching this, hopefully at some point. But if you would like to get in touch with me or anybody else on the arts team at CW Plus, the hospital charity, then you can email, ladies and gentlemen, using this email address. Perhaps in future weeks I might have more social media stuff as well. But in the meantime, arts@cwplus.org.uk. You can tell us anything. You can tell us where you are. You can tell us what you're drinking, what you're eating, what your favourite genre of music is. You can even come up with a request, because I do an intermission. In the middle of the show, I play a piece about which there are no questions. So you can sit and listen and enjoy the music without panicking about the questions that are coming afterwards. So you can make a request, and I could do it. By the wonders of modern technology. I will receive your email, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I will try and play what you'd like to hear. So get in touch. There you go. Anyway, so Peter and the Wolf, written by Prokofiev, after visiting a theatre, a children's theatre with his son, I think, and he was inspired to write this piece, or commissioned to, I'm not sure. Anyway, so Peter and the Wolf. So the questions are written in 1936. There you go. So one of the most performed works in the classical repertoire to introduce children to the instruments of the orchestra. So all the characters in the story, so Peter and his granddad and the wolf and the cat and the duck and the bird and all that stuff, even the hunters, they all have their own instruments playing their little themes. So my first question is, what instrument plays Peter's theme in the orchestral version of that piece? So I just played it on a violin. Is that a giveaway, or is it a false clue? Who knows? So which instrument in the orchestra plays Peter's theme? This one. In the orchestral version. Which instrument plays Peter's theme? Question number 8. In 2012, tricky question this one. In 2012, ITV used a version of the theme as the title music to their coverage of a sporting event. Because one of the host countries, Ukraine, was the birthplace of Prokofiev. So Prokofiev, born in Ukraine, and Ukraine was one of the host countries of this event, this sporting event. So my question to you is, what sport was played at the event? I mean, take a punt on it if you don't know. Which sport was played at the event? 2012, ITV, TV coverage of this sporting event. They chose a bit of Peter and the Wolf because Prokofiev was born in Ukraine, and that was one of the host countries. So that's question number 8. What sport was it? Question number 9. There have been many recordings of this piece, all featuring, because there's a narrator in it that tells the story, as I'm sure you know. Many recordings with lots of celebrities doing the narration, really. So we've had David Bowie, we've had Terry Wogan, Dame Edna, Lenny Henry. I think even what's his name? I've forgotten his name. So many of them, loads of them. There was a recording a few years ago with the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra with narration by an actor / comedian / TV presenter who is famous for his work on the show Pointless. In my life, also famous for narrating Hey Dougie, which is a children's TV programme, which some of you may be aware of, some of you absolutely no idea about. But if you ever find yourself with a bit of time on your hands, I recommend you watch Hey Dougie. Even though it's a kids' programme, it is absolutely brilliant and very funny. He narrates this as well. So my question is, who is he? So he does Pointless, and he's a singer, and he's an actor, and he's a comedian. I mean, he does everything. And he narrated this version with the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra in it was recently, a few years ago. Anyway, so what's his name? And now on with piece number 4. Now, what key am I doing this one in? How's it go even? Oh yeah, I know. Sometimes my memory fails me and I just can't remember. So that was an excerpt, a bit of the, now what would it be? Third movement? Don't know. Of the Trout Quintet by Schubert. So he wrote loads of chamber music, and he wrote a piece called the Trout Quintet. 5 instruments, can't remember what they are. I think a piano, violin, cello, viola. Another violin, possibly? Don't know. 5 of them anyway. So he wrote it, and it was my first question is, how old was he? Well, he wrote it in 1819, reading facts here. So he wrote it in 1819, and my first question is, how old was he when he wrote it? So you get a point for the right decade, 30s, 40s, 50s, 20s, teenager. And another point for getting, or as many points, to be honest, as many points as you want to give yourself, because it's not a strict thing. You can give yourself 10 points for every answer you get right, or 100 even. Yeah, how old was he when he wrote it? 1 point for which decade, and another point for the exact age at which he was when he wrote that piece. Now, question number 11. It's known as a Trout Quintet because it quotes. So that tune that I just played you is a quote from a song that he wrote a couple of years before that, which was called The Trout. Or he didn't call it The Trout because he was from Austria or Germany or somewhere. He wrote a couple of years before that. He wrote a song called The Trout, which was all about a trout, and it's based on a poem. It's based on a poem. This is a great fact. It's based on a poem by a poet with exactly the same surname as Schubert, apart from one letter. So my question is, what letter is it that's different in this person's name? So he's not called Schubert, but it's one letter different. So Schubert spelled Schubert, and this person was called, well, one of those letters is not the same as Schubert, but which one is it, and what letter is it? So, is it Schubert, or is it Bart, or whatever? Well, yeah. So there you go. That's a random question for you. Question number 11. What is the name of the poet that wrote the poem "The Trout," upon which Schubert based? I think he just nicked the words and wrote his song called "The Trout." 2 years before he wrote the Trout Quintet. So what is the poet's name? And question number 12. In 1989, Woody Allen wrote a film, or directed a film, starred in a film, as he always does, called Crimes and Misdemeanors. The music to that film is largely written by Schubert. And my question is, it's a very hard question, this one. Name one of the Schubert pieces that he used. It's very difficult, very difficult. But, you know, we could have an easier one. Let's have an easier one. That's far too difficult, far too difficult. Name one. So Woody Allen obviously stars in it because he stars in all his films. Name one of the other actors in the film. Crimes and Misdemeanors, Crimes and Misdemeanors. So Crimes and Misdemeanors, 1989, Woody Allen starring, obviously, with... Name one of the other actors in Crimes and Misdemeanors. Slightly easier than the last question, also quite difficult. All right, moving on. Is it time for answers? It is time for answers. Oh, what's the answer jingle? I think it's this one. So answers. Answers to part 1 of the quiz. So what have we got? So the first question, first piece. So sung by Patti someone in America in 1953. Big hit in America. What is her name? Patti what? Patti Smith? No. Her name was Patti Page. Patti Page, 1953. Massive hit for Patti Page. In the UK, it was a hit for Lita Rosa. Lita Rosa. Spelled with a Z. Lita Rosa. So first number one ever to reach, first song ever to reach number 1 sung by a woman in the UK, and also the first number 1 ever in the UK to feature what in its title? And the answer is, predictably, a question mark. A question mark. How much is the dog in the window? So first song to reach number 1 with a question mark in the title. And in the song, considering the lyrics of the song, the person who sings the song talks about going somewhere and leaving her sweetheart alone and thinking about buying a dog to, you know, keep them company. Where is the singer going to? And the answer is California. There you go, American song, California. It's got some great lyrics, actually. So there's question number 3. So the singer is going to California. And then we have this one. So a bit of Seth Lakeman, inspired by the grave found in Devon somewhere of Anna J. Committed suicide, late 18th century, apparently. Question number 4 was, Seth recorded it at his house with production done by his brother, at the tune of 300 quid. So nice one, Seth. My question to you was, which room did Seth Lakeman record his album in? Was it A, his bedroom? Was it B, the lounge? Was it C, the kitchen? What did you get? What did you put down? Well, the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is the kitchen. Perhaps the acoustics are really good in the kitchen. Who knows? Anyway, successful. He recorded that album in the kitchen of his home in Devon in, I think, 94, possibly. Now, various people have been inspired by the grave to produce various bits of art, literature. And there was an author who visited the area, and apparently, soon after visiting, he was inspired to write The Hound of the Baskervilles. What was the author's name? And the answer is, of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle of Sherlock Holmes fame. So that's question number 5. And then we had a question about Seth Lakeman again, joining a band and going on tour with them in 2017, 2018. The band formed by the previous or ex-lead singer of Led Zeppelin. And he made a phone call, called up Seth Lakeman, New Year's Eve 2017, invited him to be in the band. My question is, who is that? Who made that phone call? What is his name? What is the lead singer of Led Zeppelin's name? And it is Robert Plant. Robert Plant. So Robert Plant had Seth Lakeman in his band when he went on tour with his band, the Sensational Shapeshifters. That's a known band. And then we have this one. Bit of Prokofiev from 1936. That was the main tune, of course. Peter from Peter and the Wolf. And my first question was, what instrument plays that theme in the orchestral version? What instrument plays that theme? And the answer is the violin. Peter's the violin. We got various other instruments like the flute and the clarinet, and the duck, I think, is the oboe. And I think that the hunters, was it the wolf is... The wolf is the horns, I think, French horns. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, so the violins play the theme of Peter. In 2012, ITV used a version of Peter and the Wolf as their title music, as their coverage of a sporting event. One of the host countries of the sporting event was Ukraine, because Prokofiev, so ITV chose that because Prokofiev was born in Ukraine. And my question was, what was the sport? It was football. It was the... What was it? The European Football Championships in 2012. There you go. And then many recordings of that piece with all sorts of celebrities doing the narration. There was one recorded with the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra recently with a man who now presents Pointless on television and also narrates various things. I mean, does all sorts of things. He sings, he does tours because he's a classical singer, and he's just general sort of all-round bod entertainer. And his name is Alexander Armstrong. I recommended you check out Hey Dougie. Even though it's a kid's show, watch it, adults, because it's very good. All right, so, and then we have this one. Bit of Schubert. Bit of Schubert from 1819, I think. Yeah. So how old was he when he wrote it? How old was Schubert when he wrote that piece? He was 22 years old. A youngster. A mere snip of a lad. So 22 when he wrote that, which means he wrote the song, The Trout, 2 years early when he was 20. And my question is, my next question, yes, 22, that's question number 10. Question number 11 is, what was the name of the poet who wrote the poem, The Trout, which Schubert used to write the song? His name is exactly the same as Schubert, apart from one letter. His name is Schubart. I love that fact. So just take out the E and stick an A in. Schubart. There you go. So Schubart wrote the poem. And then question number 12, Woody Allen film, Crimes and Misdemeanors, featuring a load of Schubert music. I asked you which Schubert music, that's very difficult. So we'll scrap that question. And we'll ask you the names of any one actor in the film with Woody Allen. And I've got a couple for you. Mia Farrow and also Martin Landau. There you go. It's a great film. And now it's time for the intermission. A piece of music. So no questions about this one. Just sit back and enjoy this one. Go and get yourself a drink. Or have a sip of your drink. Relax. This is a bit of Elgar called, I can't remember what it's called. Either Salut d'amour or Chanson de matin. I don't know. Question for next week. What is this piece? Roll over question number 1. A piece by Elgar, the name of which I think I know. I'll leave that for you to have a think about for next week, and I will definitely find out what it's called for next week. So, get in touch, arts@cwplus.org.uk, arts@cwplus.org.uk. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know requests for the intermission next week. What could it be? I mean, sort of next week. I'm recording about one a week, but they're all on the website, so you can look at them anytime. You can just have a glut. You can just watch them all in one go. Right, back to the quiz. How about this one? Do you know, I think that's the wrong one. I think I'm going to do the other. It is, yes. I'm going to do, so there are two ballets. And I get confused between which one's which. And I just launch into whichever one that comes into my head. But I think it's the other one. I think it's this one. It is. There we go, an excerpt from Swan Lake. An excerpt from the Swan Lake Waltz. It's quite a long waltz, and that's a bit of it. So first question. I don't know what the other one I was playing was. There's another one by the same composer. Who is the composer? My first question. Question number 13. First question, part 2. Who is the composer of that ballet? Question number 13. Question number 14. In the ballet, Odette is turned into a swan by an evil sorcerer. Quite a nice thing to turn into. So Odette is turned into a swan by an evil sorcerer. Who or what is Odette? A princess. B, a servant. Or C, a queen? Odette. Is Odette a princess? A, B, a servant. Or C, a queen? That's question number 14. Question number 15. A very famous British comedy double act. In their 1965 film, The Intelligence Men end up on stage at a ballet dancing with all the other dancers in that ballet. Who is that famous comedy double act? So, famous comedy double act, 1965 film, The Intelligence Men. They end up on stage dancing in Swan Lake. What is the name of the double act? There we go. Next piece is this one. Now, I think I did this one a few weeks ago, or a few sessions ago, a few quizzes ago. So yeah, but I'm going to do it in a different key today. The excitement. It's exciting for me. So I'm going to do it in E minor, I think, before I did it in B minor. Not sure. Here we go. So let's see if this goes right. I'm going to tune my violin first. Right, it's in tune, so I've got no excuse when it's out of tune. Here we go. There you go. The Pink Panther theme, of course, from the 60s films, starring that bloke, that funny man. What's his name? Can't remember. Anyway, so the films spurned this cartoon, which called the Pink Panther, obviously, in which the panther is pink. So question number 16. So that's the Pink Panther. In Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, the panther character, which is it's actually an Indian leopard. There you go. Things you find out when you read about these things. Is black. So not a Pink Panther. But what's his name? What is the name of the Black Panther in the Rudyard Kipling novel and film The Jungle Book? Is it A, Bagheera? Is it B, Baloo? Or is it C, Simba? A, Bagheera. B, Baloo. C, Simba. What's his name? Question number 17. The Pink Panther theme was written by Henry Mancini in 1963 for the film of the same name. In the film, the Pink Panther is in fact a large diamond. It's a large diamond, and it's all about the theft of a diamond, if you don't know. My question is, number 17, where is the largest clear cut diamond in the world to be found? Where is the largest clear cut diamond in the world to be found? That's question number 17. And question number 18, this largest diamond in the world, we don't know where it is yet, or perhaps we do. It was discovered in 1905 in the Cullinan mine in the Transvaal region of which former British colony. So the largest diamond in the world now residing in was discovered in 1905 in the Cullinan mine in the Transvaal region of which former British colony. That's question number 18. And now, back to the classics for this beautiful piece, which I'm sure you know, which is called The Swan. The Swan by who? So it's taken from the Carnival of the Animals. Give you a big clue. The Carnival des Animaux. Written by a Frenchman. And what is the name of that Frenchman? What is the name of the composer of that piece? Is question number 19. That composer also wrote a piece called Dance Macabre. Or should I play a bit for you? I was going to say, it's used as a title music to a BBC mystery crime drama, starring Alan Davies in the lead role. My question is, what is the name of that BBC mystery crime drama? I'm going to give you a little bit of the piece. That's enough. That's enough of that. It's called Dance Macabre. Great piece. So what is the name of that mystery crime drama featuring Alan Davies in the lead role, featured on the BBC? And question number 21. A short ballet called The Dying Swan was choreographed in 1905 by Mikhail Fokin, Russian, I think. So a short ballet to accompany that piece, The Swan, taken from the Carnival of the Animals, by which composer? And one ballet dancer danced it all over the world. Became very famous performing this mini ballet. And what is her name? Is it A, Anna Stroganoff? Is it B, Anna Pavlova? Or is it C, Anna Nureyev? Is it A, Anna Stroganoff? Is it B, Anna Pavlova? Or is it C, Anna Nureyev? I quite like that question. And last piece is this one. So that, of course, is taken from The Lion King, written by Elton John quite a while ago now. And my first question is, who did he co-write that song with? Who did he co-write that song with? I'll give you a clue. Not the person he normally co-writes with. Well, not his most famous collaborator. Someone more to do with the world of musicals. Who did Elton John write that piece with? Now, there are many versions of the song. It's been dubbed into many languages throughout the world, and the film, and it's been dubbed into Zulu. And it's the only Disney song and film that's ever been dubbed into Zulu. In fact, the only Disney film that's been dubbed into any African language apart from Arabic. God, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, so the English translation of the title of that song in Zulu, that's what I'm going to ask you about. The English translation of the title in Zulu. So, not quite the standard title of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? So I'm going to give you some options. So A, is it He Feels the Love Today? Or is it B, In the Love Garden Did a Heart Blossom? By the way, these are all actual translations of the titles in various languages throughout the world. So is it A, He Feels the Love Today? B, In the Love Garden Did a Heart Blossom? Question mark. Or C, Come On, Let's Live the Love Tonight. And many bonus points if you can guess what the other languages are that those were translated from. But I'll tell you in a minute. So is it A, He Feels the Love Today? B, In the Love Garden Did a Heart Blossom? Question mark. Or C, Come On, Let's Live the Love Tonight. And last question today, 24. Two famous British male singers did backing vocals on Elton John's version when he first recorded it and released it in whatever it was, 94, wasn't it? Gary Barlow was one of them. And my question is, name the other former Stock Aitken Waterman singer who sang backing vocals on Elton John's version of that song that he released. So Gary Barlow and who? And now it's answers part 2. All right, so we started off with this one. Well, we started off with this one. And then I realised that wasn't the one I was supposed to be playing. So then we did this one. Which was Swan Lake. And I asked you who wrote it. Who wrote it? And the answer is Tchaikovsky. Peter Ilich Tchaikovsky wrote that. Very famous ballet. Apparently it was a flop when he wrote it, but now it's really famous. Everyone loves it. So yeah, Swan Lake, written by Tchaikovsky. In the ballet, Odette is turned into a swan by an evil sorcerer. Who is Odette? Is she a princess, or a servant, or a queen? A, princess. B, servant. C, queen. What did you have? A, B, or C? The answer is A. She was a princess. And question 15, a famous comedy British duo did a film in 1965 called The Intelligence Men, and they ended up being on stage in the ballet and having a laugh and making fools of themselves, obviously. Who were they? They were Morecambe and Wise. Yeah, there you go. And then we had this one in a different key. A reprise from a previous quiz, I think. Anyway, so yeah, the Pink Panther theme. So in the cartoon, the panther is pink, obviously. But there's another panther featuring in literature and in film, and that is the Black Panther featured in The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. And my question was, what is the Black Panther's name? Is it A, Bagheera, B, Baloo, or C, Simba? Bagheera, Baloo, or Simba? And the answer is Bagheera. A, Bagheera, of course. And the last question, oh yeah, so in the film, the Pink Panther is a diamond. A big valuable diamond, and I asked you where the biggest, most valuable diamond in the world. I think it's the most valuable, I don't know. It's the biggest clear-cut diamond in the world. Where is it? And the answer is it's in the Tower of London. It's part of the Crown Jewels. Because, yeah, they're all owned by the Queen. I think they're all owned by the Queen. Given to her by, I think well, I'll go on to that. So the next question is, so it was discovered, that diamond, or the uncut bit, was discovered in 1905 in the Cullinan mine in the Transvaal region of which former British colony? And the former British colony is South Africa. So it's found in a mine in South Africa, and I think it went on sale and no one wanted to buy it. And then the Transvaal region government bought it, and then they gave it to the British royal family, I think. So there you go. So South Africa is where it was found. And then we have this one. Etc, etc, which is the Swan from the Carnival of the Animals by which composer? Question number 19. The composer is Saint-Saëns, the Frenchman, who also wrote this. So my question was, what is that the theme tune to? BBC mystery drama, crime drama thing featuring Alan Davies, and the answer is Jonathan Creek. Jonathan Creek, of course. Jonathan Creek. And then I asked you about a short ballet. It's a short ballet called The Dying Swan, choreographed in 1905 by some Russian. And a very famous ballet dancer, well, a ballet dancer achieved great fame, or did that ballet all over the world, and, you know, made a lot of money out of it. What was her name? What was her name? Anna Stroganoff. A, Anna Stroganoff. Was her name B, Anna Pavlova? Or was her name Anna Nureyev? And the answer is B, Anna Pavlova. There you go. Anna Pavlova made that ballet, little short ballet, very famous. That was a party piece all around the world. And then we ended with this one. Elton John's classic from the Lion King. He co-wrote it. Who did he co-write it with? Question number 22. He wrote it with Tim Rice. Tim Rice was the co-writer on that song. There is a Zulu version of that song, and indeed film, dubbed into Zulu. First time ever any Disney stuff has been dubbed into Zulu. And my question was, when you translate the Zulu title of that song back into English, what is it? It is not Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Is it A, is it He Feels the Love Today? Is it B, In the Love Garden Did a Heart Blossom? Question mark. Or is it C, Come On, Let's Live the Love Tonight? And the answer is A, He Feels the Love Today. That's correct. B, In the Love Garden Did a Heart Blossom. That is translated from Tamil. And C, Come On, Let's Live the Love Tonight, is the translation of the Arabic song title. There you go. And then last question. Two famous British male singers sang backing vocals on Elton John's song. Gary Barlow was one of them. And the other guy, what's the name of the other guy? Stock Aitken and Waterman fame. It is Rick Astley. Rick Astley. What a great comeback he's had. So Rick Astley and Gary Barlow sang backing vocals on Elton John's rendition of that song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And that concludes the quiz, but not quite, because A, get in touch. Get in touch before I record the next one, which will probably be about a week's time. So get in touch now. Write us an email at arts@cwplus.org.uk. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know whether you're enjoying all this stuff. There's loads of stuff on the website, CW Plus website. Lots and lots of the resident artists who work with CW Plus in the Arts for All programme at both hospitals, Chelsea and Westminster and West Middlesex. So there's music and there's art and there's dance and there's stuff for the kids as well. There's some like Giggle Doctor stuff, all sorts of things online now. So if you are either in hospital and have access to one of the Hospidia screens and are able to view stuff on there, then do check stuff out. Or if you're at home and you're just looking for some art, many things online at the moment. But yeah, check out what is available. I've got quite a few videos on there now, other pub quizzes, music quizzes. So yeah, get in touch. Now, there's a theme. What's the theme today? A theme, that's fairly obvious really. How Much That Doggy in the Window, Kitty J, Peter and the Wolf, Trout Quintet, Swan Lake, Pink Panther, Swan. It is of course animals. Kitty J, 2 animal names in one song title. Brilliant. So animals is the theme today. Now we've got a couple of rollover questions for next week. Rollover question number 1. In Peter and the Wolf, very simple. In Peter and the Wolf, the story in Peter and the Wolf, what animal is it that ends up inside the wolf? What animal is it that ends up inside the wolf? And I think still alive inside the wolf. That's question number 1. And last rollover question this week is how much is that doggy in the window? Related to that, it's a random question. How many breeds of dogs are there in the world? And for your information, I got the answer to that from the World Canine Organisation online. So the World Canine Organisation, which apparently is the most sort of revered organisation to do with dogs, reckon there are how many dog breeds in the world? That's a bit open to interpretation, obviously, but we're looking for a rough figure. Take a punt on it, ladies and gentlemen. Write it down. Join me again either next week or now if you've just found this and number 8 is up there. Do check out the other stuff on the CW Plus website. My name's Adrian Garratt, bringing you this once again in lieu of being in the hospitals, playing on the wards where I normally find myself. But this is the Arts for All programme brought to you online via the Virtual Connections Arts programme by CW Plus, the hospital charity. Thank you very much for watching. There is, I believe, a feedback form under this on the website. So if you have the time and inclination, it would be very, very helpful if you could spend a couple of minutes filling out that form to let us know how you found it and how it's made you feel. And get in touch. arts@cwplus.org.uk. You can do that as well. Get in touch directly and ask for requests. Let us know what you think. Have a safe and happy week, or safe and happy moment until you watch the next one, whatever time period it is until you watch the next one. My name's Adrian Garratt, bidding you farewell for now. Au revoir. Thanks for the team here, and stay safe. Bye.